Where is your god now?
Ah, where is your god now? So do they have different gods? Does Black Panther worship the Black Panther god and M'Baku worships the gorilla god? I get gorilla god. Maybe that's who Hanuman is. You know, he's the gorilla god or something. I'll have to look more into this. This could be pretty interesting. Maybe each of the Wakanda tribes have their own god. Would kind of make sense. Ooh, okay, now you're in a lot of trouble. This big old grizzly bear's got you in a bear hug. I mean, with bigger opponents, you always want to keep the distance. Once they close the distance, you're in a lot of trouble. And especially when he's got his arms wrapped around you. If that were me, since both my arms are free and his arms are wrapped around my stomach, I'd just try to strangle him because he'd pass out before he'd succeed in breaking my back. He'd have to let me go to break my hold on his throat. And then I'd probably try to take him to the ground. I'd do like a leg sweep or something like that.
No powers! No claws!
Ouch! I guess you couldn't really get a front choke if he's smashing your face in with his mask. I guess you could just kind of try to dodge Black Panther. But anyway, it's Marvel. He's got to have his moment where he starts to lose and then he can rally his strength. That's like really important. Oh! He goes right for the heart. Well, actually, it's more of in the shoulder than the heart, but this is part of the reason I like M'Baku as well. I mean, this is, remember that you win in this challenge by either yield, submission, or through killing your opponent. M'Baku understands that. He goes right for the heart, or maybe he was aiming for the shoulder. I think he's going for the heart though. He was ready to kill him right here, because he understands that once the challenge starts, it's all or nothing. Black Panther doesn't quite understand that. I guess because he's a bit of a nice guy. His dad says to him later on, "You're a good man. It's difficult for a good man to be king." But this good-natured, not willing to kill in these challenges, wanting to go for the yield instead, really comes back and bites Black Panther in his panthery ass later on. Man, he's twisting it. He's showing no mercy here. He's like trying to get maximum damage on Black Panther here. Brutal. Yeah, you know, instead of pushing it out of you with your arm strength, you could just hold it and then just take a step back. It would probably be easier. Jiu-jitsu! Can you actually kill someone with a blood choke? I think that's not like a sleeper hold, that's a blood choke. It causes you to pass out, but can you die from that? Yeah, probably.
Allow the heart-shaped herb to restore the powers of the Black Panther.
Okay, so let's try to map out the powers of the Black Panther herb. You swallow it, it gives you powers. You swallow it when you're injured, it'll heal you. You swallow it when you already have powers and it'll take them away, like happened at the beginning of the challenge. So I guess it's like an on-off switch. If it's already in your system and you take a second one, it will switch it off. Then you can have a challenge, and then you have it again, it will heal you and switch your powers back on. It's a very smart herb. This herb is very intuitive as to exactly what you want it to do at a certain time. Convenient. So, now the king was Black Panther before T'Challa was Black Panther, so presumably the king also had the powers of the Black Panther herb. So his father should have been able to survive being blown up because he wasn't incinerated completely. So why did the heart-shaped herb not heal his father in the same way it healed T'Challa from being stabbed almost in the heart, or from any of the other stuff that it can heal you from? Maybe he had stopped taking the herb because T'Challa had obviously had the powers of the Black Panther at the time the bomb went off, because he jumped across to, like, superhero jump to try to get him. So he had the powers. Did they both have the power of Black Panther? I don't see why they wouldn't. But I guess the script requires his dad to die so that he can be Black Panther. So I guess the herb intuitively knows when your part in this universe is done. So when the story requires it, it will not heal you, so you die from a bomb and your son can take over. It's a very intuitive herb here.
I want to be a great king, Baba. You're going to struggle.
So you'll need to surround yourself with people you trust.
You're a good man, with a good heart. And it's hard for a good man to be king.
That's very good advice there. He tells him to surround himself with people that he can trust. He doesn't do that. He keeps his creepy get out friend around. And, we'll deal with that as it comes. But he's bringing up sort of a Machiavellian point here. Machiavelli said it's important for a good king to know how to be bad, because being king does sometimes require you to do nasty things for the greater good, as it often goes. And this is something that T'Challa struggles with. His father obviously understood the Machiavellian law of presenting the front of being good while at the same time having to be bad. A good way of doing that is having like a right-hand man or an underling who can do the dirty work for you, and that way you can heap it on him. He could have used his get-out friend for that. Like if you wanted to get some dirty work done, have him go off and do it and then say, oh, that's outrageous. Oh, that's terrible. I'm going to lock him up. That's outrageous. Then he still keeps his reputation clean. But I think it's called the cat's paw, something like that, which would fit with Black Panther. But yes, it is difficult for a good man to be king.
I can't be happy here knowing that there's people out there who have nothing.
What would you have Wakanda do about it?
Okay, now, we'll analyse what she's about to say in a minute, but let's remember what we've learned about her so far. She's on a rival tribe. She's in a position that she can challenge for his throne, if she wants to at a future challenge. Black Panther, the ghost of your dad just told you, surround yourself with people that you can trust. So I would say a good place to start is, first of all, don't take the advice from people from rival tribes, because they would have an incentive to give you bad advice that will lead to your fall, that will then open up a doorway for them to challenge for leadership. So don't listen to her, even though she's your ex-girlfriend. In fact, especially because she's your ex-girlfriend, you shouldn't listen to her. And especially don't listen to someone from a rival tribe who's in a position to challenge you. Like if Zuri was saying this to you, I'd listen to him. He's obviously loyal to your family. He's been loyal to your dad. He'll be loyal to you. You can trust him and he'll give you good advice. Don't listen to her, regardless of what the advice is.
Share what we have. We could provide aid and access to technology and refuge to those who need it. Other countries do it. We could do it better.
Yeah, other countries do it, but let's not try to pretend that foreign aid is actually just about foreign aid, because in this political world, it's certainly not, is it? We're selective in who we give foreign aid to. We give foreign aid, in air quotes, to countries that we also want to get something back from. Some of those yummy natural resources. Maybe they allow us to have military bases that allow us to strike people we want to strike nearby them. It's never just a matter of helping, is it? I mean, nothing's free in this world. And as she says, other countries do the whole refugee thing. Yeah, how's that working out? I'll leave you to answer that one yourself.
If the world found out what we truly are, what we possess, we could lose our way of life.
Wakanda is strong enough to help others and protect ourselves at the same time.
Is it though? I mean, if you share your technology with other countries, as she is suggesting that you do, won't that increase the threat level of other countries? Like, I mean, when America designed the atomic bomb, they didn't share the technology with the atomic bomb with other countries, especially not the Soviet Union. They didn't want them to get it because that leads to an arm race. I mean, wouldn't what you're suggesting also lead to another arms race? I mean, if you have all this advanced technology in your hands, you're safe. If you share it with other countries, you're not safe. And, she wants to help others. Okay, I get that. But you really need to define what exactly that is, okay? You want to help others. You need to narrow it down. What is the result you want when trying to help this other country? If people are starving, is it just you want to feed the young people? Because if you want to feed the young people, pumping foreign aid sometimes doesn't work. In fact, quite often it doesn't work because it has to go through the government itself, and they hoard stuff for themselves first of all because they make money selling the food on the black market. It's you really got to specify exactly what it is you want to do. And this is what I like with Killmonger. He's got a goal which is a little bit violent in how he wants to get there, but he has a clear goal in what he wants to do and a plan to get there. She doesn't really have a clear goal, just this thing of, we should just help everyone. Well, there's like 40 million people born into poverty every single year. Like, do you have enough to help all of them? No. So you're going to have to be selective in who you help. help? What standards are you going to use to select who you help and who you don't help? How are you going to decide who's worthy of your help and who isn't worthy of your help? Very difficult question to answer. The way most countries do it is they help countries that they can get something from. Not a perfect system, but it at least answers that question of who are we going to help?
If you are not so stubborn, you would make a great queen.
I would make a great queen because I am so stubborn.
If that's what I wanted.
Ooh, did you hear that, Black Panther? In her mind, she's already queen, but she's broken up with you. What does that tell you? She's gonna challenge one day. You're gonna have to kill this woman, or at least make her yield. I don't know if she would yield, because as you just said, she's very stubborn.
I see Nakia is back. You guys going to work it out?
Yeah, and that's another thing. I'm sorry to keep dogpiling onto this chick, but he's like, oh, you're going to work it out? T'Challa, bro, you're the king. Like, you don't have to accept sloppy seconds here. I mean, you can choose. I'm sure there's loads of girls within your own tribe who are not of royal blood, who are not going to try to challenge you and kill you in combat one day. I'm sure there's a million other women behind her that you can find who are going to be great queens, going to give you lots of kids, which is important if you're the king. Yeah, don't accept this. Just, if she doesn't want to be with you, just let her go. Find someone else. That's what a king does. That's the way it works in these feudal systems.
You let the refugees in, they bring their problems with them. And then Wakanda is like everywhere else.
So here's the dilemma that they bring up in the movie, which I was shocked they actually had a solution to in the end, which is like he says, if you bring in the refugees, they bring their problems with them, then Wakanda's just like everything everywhere else. And when I first saw this, I was shocked in the movie theater that they actually addressed the problem head on. I thought they were going to slip and bob and weave and duck and avoid it because it's fiction land, you can do that. But I thought, wow, now that they've addressed it like that, they're going to have to resolve it. And I thought, what are they going to do? Because they can't keep the borders closed because, that doesn't seem to be the message of what the movie's trying to say. But if they open the borders and all refugees flood in, like Mr. Get Out just said, there's going to be a lot of problems. So I thought what they were going to do is they were going to make it that they open the borders, bring refugees in, but because it's a fictional universe, everything just magically works out and there's no problems whatsoever. But they didn't do that. They did something else, a third option, which really surprised me. We'll talk about it when we get to it.
I wish to bring Claw back here to stand trial.
Wakanda does not need a warrior right now. We need a king.
Yeah, I'm sorry, lady, but Ulysses Claw, he's probably the only outsider that knows Wakanda's secret, that knows Wakanda exists. Which means, if you want to remain hidden, you got to find this guy and either kill him or lock him up in Wakanda forever, whichever you prefer. But you can't let him running around free out there. He could blow the lid off this whole thing very quickly if your secrecy is something you value. You have to go out there and find him. It's not even a question.
Take me with you. We'll take him down together, side by side.
I need you here, protecting the border.
Now this is odd to me. His friend here has a personal stake in catching Ulysses Claw because his parents were killed when Ulysses Claw blew up the border earlier. Why would you not want to bring him with you if he's your friend and you got to keep people that you trust close by? Bring him along. Let him go and kill Claw. Again, you got to keep your hands clean. Dirty work to be done. This guy wants to do it. Let him kill Claw. Why do you need him to protect the border? I'm sure there's other people that can do it. You got a force field around here. Nobody even knows there is a border, for crying out loud. So yeah, take him with you. This is his first mistake. I guess he doesn't take him because he'd rather take his girlfriend. Ugh.
You sure it's a good idea to take your ex on a mission?
Yes.
No, it isn't. He should take his friend who wants to kill Claw on the mission.
The entire suit sits within the teeth of the necklace.
It's actually exactly the same as Tony Stark's nanotech suit that he has in Infinity Wars. Remember, he's just got the one little thing on his chest. He just taps it and it just all forms over him. It's exactly the same here. Kind of like how their hologram tech is sort of like Tony Stark's tech. So far, vibranium doesn't seem to be doing anything that Tony Stark can't also do. I mean, I guess they've got the herb that gives him superpowers that Tony Stark doesn't have, but...
Past willing, this will go quickly and I can get this ridiculous thing off my head.
It looks nice. Just whip it back and forth, eh?
What?
So in rocks Black Panther with 2 girls. Has anyone else noticed that like he loves his whole personal security guard to be all women, and like when he goes on a mission he prefers to have all women. He just seems to like to surround himself with the ladies, which is nice. He's kind of like the African Hugh Hefner. But if maybe he could act a little bit more like Hugh Hefner, you know, don't follow around this one girl like a puppy dog, you know, just you're the king, act like a king. Apparently vibranium doesn't show up on a metal detector because they all just walk through it and they've all got vibranium metal somewhere on them. I guess it makes sense, it is magic metal after all.
Alright, vibranium from the attack on Sokovia links back to a person that I'm not actually saying I'm here to make a deal with, but that deal will not be called off. When the dust settles, you and me can work something out.
Ah, I like that. He connected it with Age of Ultron, because the vibranium that made up Ultron came from Ulysses Klaue, so he's done his detective work and he's traced it all the way back. This is why I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That, excuse me, they're aware of all the things that have happened in it, and they actually connect these little details. I love that.